Talking shit. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome back to Talking Shit. And there is only one place to start because Borussia Dortmund are going to the fucking Champions League Finals. Johnny, Huda,
Well done.
you guys didn't think they could do it. And here we friggin' are.
Hats off. You said
Kylian
it.
Mbappe, where was he, Johnny?
He's a fucking fraud.
I told
Agreed.
you, the frauds!
Agreed.
I can't believe this dude has not won a Champions League with PSG. He's had Messi, he's had Neymar, he's had everyone play with him at PSG, and this dude can't win a Champions League. It's absurd shit, and he looked terrible. He didn't score a goal in the semifinals of the Champions League. Like, he just went full rogue mode. I know he hit the post in game one, but
yeah, that should have been a goal.
Like, he was a ghost game two. Like, he was a literal ghost. He got just shut down by the yellow wall.
He had a couple shots on target. I did take that, but you're right. No goals.
The post that Johnny is referring to, that one in the first, like that, you got to convert that. Like, that's got to go in.
Yeah.
You guys both had Paris. I think you went for what goals?
I had both teams to score.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the team that I was more worried about was the one I should have been less worried about.
Yeah.
PSG hit, I don't know, the post a couple times. The last few minutes they were pressing, they couldn't score. So big loser for Prince in that game. But
yeah, I mean, just to also do it at the Parc des Princes too in Paris. Like, this is not the first time PSG have blown it at home in the Champions League, and it just goes to show you that no frauds are allowed in the finals. Dembele, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, they suck, man. That was embarrassing. I thought they were gonna tie the game up, but they'd still be down on aggregate. But
yeah,
they just look terrible. Like, they just look absolutely terrible. It's like, I don't know where they go from there. They're gonna lose Mbappe for free, which is a massive hit to your team. But Mbappe is now joining forces with Real Madrid probably, and after they win the Champions League, it's absurd. It's absurd stuff, and it goes to show you PSG will always be playing in a farmers league, and they'll always just be the little brothers. They'll never win. Never.
Incredible. Well, you kind of just referenced Real Madrid winning the Champions League, but let's talk about that because the second game, I don't remember who had what. I think I went for Bayern to not choose the same thing as you guys. Okay, Johnny, I got to ask you because we were both on Twitter at the same time yesterday and I saw us both like losing our minds. And the thing is, I watch Real Madrid week in and week out because I watch La Liga, and obviously being a Barca fan, you're always watching your ops. And I saw Thomas Tuchel make his substitutions in the 75th minute. And I was thinking, what the hell are you doing taking off attacking players when you got 15 minutes left at the Bernabeu, and Real Madrid is a team that they will fight tooth and nail until the final moment. And that's exactly what they did. You can't ever sleep on these guys. I think Tuchel really, really screwed Bayern up personally. I mean, no, I'm not taking credit away from Real because they are fighters and they won't give up. And you can see that. But what the hell was this guy thinking? You gotta, if anything, bring on more attacking players and go for a second goal. Like, this was foolish of him, and almost as if, in my opinion, he wasn't prepared.
He took off a guy that has contributed for almost 50 goals this year in Harry Kane. He took off Leroy Mane, right?
Sané, yeah.
Sorry,
and he brought in the defender Kim Min-jae, and I was thinking, you best not be parking the bus in the 75th, senor.
Yeah, and he did. He parked the bus against Real Madrid, who has voodoo magic. Yeah, I honestly, I wanted to just continue to bet them because I've seen this song and dance. We saw it 2 years ago against Man City, where they just continued to score in like the last minutes. I can't believe I didn't put my mortgage on Real Madrid. Like, they were 100% going to qualify. There was no way they were losing at home in front of their fans with the amount of money they have spent. That's just not what they do. And I right when I was gonna do it, and then I bitched out, and the next thing you know, they of course score 2 goals within the next 5 minutes, and I was so fucking mad. But that's just what happens, unfortunately.
Who just saw the first goal go in and started partying?
Well, so as we said, I took the draw, right, and I was telling Sarah I was ready to message you guys in the chat, right? It's 1-1, 89th minute. I'm like, hey, look who called the draw. Don't let me get hot. And then as I'm about to send that, Madrid scores again, 2-1. And I think I agreed with you that they qualified, but I didn't put money on it. The only thing I had money on was the draw. So just another tough way to lose a draw for me. And then both teams to score yesterday or the day before. And then the Leafs. It's just been a rough week in gambling. I'm pretty cold right now, but happy for Madrid. And to Johnny's point last week, he said, don't overthink it. Real Madrid at home, slammed them to qualify. And to your point, they did exactly that.
Yeah, it's just you can't bet against them. You can't bet against Ancelotti. You can't bet on any of those guys. They have voodoo magic. They will.
They for sure have some magic. They call them Vardrid for a reason because I just have to reference Madrid were the better team. Listen, they were the better team. They fought harder for it. But that call by the linesman was the most fugazi thing I've ever seen in my life. For him to come out after the game and say, I've made a mistake. Who are we calling about this? What are we doing? Bayern absolutely should have equalized that goal, should have counted 10 out of 10 times. I was flabbergasted. Like that to me was like, man, this is why the game is being ruined. And it's happened to so many teams, but like Champions League semifinal and you're making those kind of mistakes. Come on. Even if they go into extra time, I'm sure Real Madrid would have won. My argument is not that Bayern would have necessarily won, but that was fucked.
It feels like the Kansas City Chiefs of the NFL, where it's like, when in doubt, if you ever count them out, they have the talent to come back and win. No games out of reach. And then you always have the refs too, like the Super Bowl 2 years ago when there was a holding call on the Eagles that extended their drive to win. So you saying that and hearing that, they seem like very similar franchises in the sense that, legacy of being good, always being good, no matter what the odds are against them. And they always seem to have the refs on their side too. So
they got a lot of luck, I will say. They're a very lucky team on top of being an extremely talented side, but that was heart-wrenching for Bayern. And I don't even like Bayern, but I saw that and I was like, oh, that should have counted.
Yeah.
Or Davies too, right?
Yo,
Harry Kane, everyone.
Harry Kane needs to shove a little rabbit's tail up his butt because like rabbit's foot rather, I think it's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this guy is so unlucky. You have over 40 goals across all competitions. And you come to a team that has won a trophy for the last, every year for the last, 30 years straight. And the year you come, they decide they can't do anything. So it's like, I can't write this, man. Yeah, Harry Kane, Johnny's right. This is, I don't know, man. But obviously the Champions League final is going to be Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid. And we will talk about that closer to the time because it's not until the first Saturday of June. Right now at Sports Interaction, Dortmund are plus 425. Real Madrid are the favorites at minus 175. But let's get closer to it because there's so much that needs to happen in between. There's still league games being played, even though they're not really for anything, but players could get injured. So let's not even touch on this. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. But honestly, congrats to fucking Dortmund because I know everyone was sleeping on you and you guys showed them. Good for
congrats to you too for calling Dortmund as well.
Fuck yeah.
Based out of spite, but
frauds,
also
for football heritage, PSG could not. Could not show me your history. No thanks. All right, sorry, I was really amped to start with that, but let's start with something else that I'm pretty happy about. Prince Huda had a really tough weekend because the Leafs.
Oh, we're going right there.
The Toronto Maple Leafs are out of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Shock. Yeah. Well, not really. They score against Boston. And within a minute, Boston retaliates. Yeah. Like it was just.
I wish they lost 5-1 or some shit where it's like, all right, we tried. We had a good showing. We came back from 3-1. Sure. We tied it. But they make you believe. They suck you in. And it's like we're up. In Game 7, we have a lead, which we've seen before. You can't have a lead in Game 7 with Toronto. Boston ties it. And then it goes to OT. And now I'm thinking, okay. It could really go either way at this point. All we need is a lucky bounce off the boards into the corner that flips out front and an easy shot to go in. And it did happen, but for the other team. So I mean, the Leafs are going to do what the Leafs always do, and that's hurt you the most when you believe the most. So
yeah, you hate to see it.
It's tough.
That's Toronto sports for you, man. They had that lead for a minute. It was looked like it was going to be the changing of the guard. Things were going great. Then they gave it right back, man. Then Morgan Riley doesn't skate. Samsonov doesn't get out of the net. And next thing you know, it's 2-1, and we're back to square one, which is where Leafs fans were 6 years ago or 7 years ago. So it's a bad look.
It's the same every year. And for anyone that didn't see it, when he says they had the lead for a minute, not like the Toronto slang, a minute, like a few minutes. They had it for literally like 60 seconds. Boston scores, ties it. And it was a shitty goal too. Like Joseph Woll getting hurt before the game should have been the death blow, but all people like, whatever. Matthews is back. We're firing. Nylander scores a goal. Energy's high. And then just the Leafs are going to do what the Leafs always do. And that's hurt you where it hurts. And hurt you where it hurts. I like that. And then had to eat a lot of crow on social. Come into this office, eat a lot of crow. I put out a video for Sports Interaction why you should bet the Leafs to win the cup. If you did, like I did, I'm sorry. So not much we can do, but there's always next year, right?
Yeah, the thing is, next year you're going to be saying the exact same thing. You're going to be saying the exact
Leafs
same
fans.
thing.
Who's going to be the coach of that team at this time next year?
Yeah, let's first of all talk about that. So Keefe, resigns today with the weirdest video in front of the Lake Ontario. And what the hell am I watching? Like, I was talking to Huda off air, Johnny, but like that was such a weird. Like, I don't know, man.
His feet were definitely in the water. Like, he was so calm. He definitely had the shoes off, and his feet were in the water, toes in the sand.
Calm with being in Lake Ontario. It'd be growing
I think he was
toe, and it's freezing.
He must have been at a cottage or something. He's from Brampton, so he's definitely got some land somewhere out here. But
Brampton.
Very eerie to see a guy who's been in one of the most highly stressful positions in Toronto for the last few months, as calm as can be, just wishing the team goodbye.
It was all class, and that's the look of a guy that is getting paid for 2 more years to not coach. It rocks.
Fair.
I wish I could get paid not to coach. He's getting the bag for the next 2 years to just sit at home and do fuck all. Yeah, sign me up for that. So, yeah, it's at the end of the day, man. It doesn't matter. Like you can't fire everyone on the team. You could just fire the coach. And do I think he was the main problem? Probably not. But
no.
He's gonna have to fall on the sword and get fired. So you hate to see it, but hopefully they get a more old style coach coming in here sooner than later and fixing things for this young team full of fucking prima donnas.
Ooh, prima donnas.
Yeah, did you see Mitch Marner's interview where he said we're treated like gods here? Like, yeah. I don't know. He probably doesn't have social media or doesn't check it because his name has been thrown through the mud by almost every single major sporting outlet. Every single sporting television show. So when he said gods, I'm not sure who he's talking about.
If he scored a bunch of goals against Boston, you guys would have been his weenie. So I don't think that's not true.
But he didn't. He's a bum.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
No, did he?
The way people act about the Leafs, you guys do treat them like gods. You're just pissed at him because he's had a bad season. But
I'm pissed at everyone.
Yeah, but if he's doing well, then you guys do. Like the way
I wanted to give him a chance because he scored that nasty goal in game 4 or 5, and it was like, look, the talent is still there, and he's, he has the 7th highest amount of points among active players in the NHL right now. So he can't be the problem if he's helped us get this far. But to your point, it just shuts down in the playoffs. And yeah, that God status usually disappears around this time of year with Leafs Nation.
Yeah, tough just let it go on a hiatus. And, September, October, it'll be right back. It'll be right back. But guys, who will be the replacement at Sports Interaction? Any other that's not on the list right now is plus 100. But the favorite is
Craig Berube.
Yeah, I didn't want to butcher that.
That's the big rumor mill. I don't know if you saw the NHL TNT panel. Biz Nasty was talking to Berube, and he's like, "Oh, don't test me, or I'll threaten to leak that you're the Leafs head coach." And he kind of looked puzzled. It was like, "Oh, does that mean he is?" Because he didn't deny it. He didn't smile or anything. It was just a really awkward thing. But I'd like to see Berube. He won with St. Louis, and there's all these clips going around of his pregame speeches versus Sheldon Keefe. So I think that'd be a good fit. Joel Quenneville on this list, plus 155, 3 rings with Chicago, a guy that's bringing in a ton of experience and a championship pedigree. I think bringing in a coach that's won before, obviously the last one we had, Mike Babcock, didn't work out. Wouldn't even rule out him coming back. But looking at this list, I like Craig Berube. Odds aren't the best, but that's probably who I would take. What about you, Johnny?
Yeah, I agree. Former Leaf. He said it'd be an honor to play here in a recent interview, or to coach here in an interview. Old school guy, Stanley Cup champ. It almost makes too much sense. The only thing that sucks is if another team picks him up before the Leafs do. So I think that's why they fired Keefe pretty quick. I saw potentially the Devils for Berube, but I think he's going to be a Toronto Maple Leaf head coach. It makes too much sense, the fact that he played here as well. So I like Craig Berube as well.
It's just such a tough job because if the team does well, nobody will credit the coaching. It'll be credit to the players or the goaltending. But then if the team does shitty, it's not the players' fault. It's not the goaltending fault. It's the coach's fault. So you're definitely on the hot seat the minute you get to Toronto. So to see the way Keefe handled it was definitely a good sign for anyone coming in. So you definitely want to see, a grizzled veteran coach coming in who can handle the media circus, who can handle the, like you said, prima donnas. And I would like to see Berube, maybe Quenneville. There is one other name on this list that intrigues me. Plus 300, Paul Bissonnette. One of the biggest Leaf fans, at least on sports broadcasts that we see. If you ask Twitter, they'd probably want him to be the coach. I know it's very unlikely, but that would be fun to see the boys playing for a Welland, Ontario native. Paul Bissonnette would be pretty funny.
Yeah, Bisnasty's electric, but no coaching experience, obviously. So it's a tough one. It would be electric. He would be must-watch TV, but I think there's just a -% chance he coaches. That would be hilarious, though.
Yeah, the post-game press conferences would be electric. And, Rick Tocchet, coach of the Canucks, was on that panel last season, and now or 2 seasons ago, and now he's in the NHL coaching. So you never know, but you're right. Probably unlikely on that one.
Yeah, he rocks though. I love Bisnasty.
Yeah, shout out Bisnasty.
On Toronto teams, because of your Leafs falling apart here. Who has the best chance right now of winning the next championship in Toronto? Because dare I say, it might be TFC.
I mean, yeah, TFC.
Okay, wait. Well, I feel like it has to be the Argos because number one, they're current champions. Number two, there's like only 12 teams in the CFL. So
there's some
ratio-wise.
Yeah,
ratio-wise. You know what I mean? Like they have the least amount of competition, but TFC are actually starting the season off hot. Now we know this team is a bit of they go through whirlwinds for sure, but it looks like the Italians are happy. My only concern is that summer transfer window opens, and if these two guys go, it's going to be long for Toronto. But you got the Leafs, never. Raptors, garbage. Johnny, we'll get to those Jays. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I would say, yeah, Argos are a good bet. I'm leaning the other Toronto hockey franchise, our women's hockey league team, PWHL. They're in the playoffs. They won last night. I mean, there was a weird playoff scenario where they're allowed to pick what team they wanted to play. They chose Minnesota. They won. So you know what?
Pick?
Yeah. They picked. They're up 1-0 in the series. Ridiculous. That's best of 3 out of 5. So, you know what? I'm going to say our women's hockey team will bring a championship to Toronto first. Certainly before the Leafs.
Why are they allowed to pick?
I don't know. That's their playoff format.
It's ridiculous.
It's also 3 out of 5, not 4 out of 7. So having the lead early is good. Sean, you got?
No. It's just that's the perks of placing first in the PWHLs. You get to pick between the 3rd and 4th seed who you want to play.
Okay.
And also, I don't know if it's going to be the Argos with the Chad Kelly stuff. He's suspended, so I don't know if it'll be
flag.
Yeah,
good flag.
So I don't know. I think Toronto teams are just cursed outside of the PWHL team.
Hey, we'll
Raptors.
See.
We'll see how that goes.
We saw TFC 2017.
I'm saying the Toronto PWHL team. What are you guys saying?
Yeah, that's probably the only one.
I'll go TFC. Maybe not this year, but they'll win before the Leafs and the Raptors. So, Johnny, you want to talk about those Blue Jays or?
Yeah, it's going tough, man. It's going tough.
You were so excited a few weeks ago, and how the mighty have fallen, man. What
baseball, man? Just everything happens. It's like it's the ebbs and flows of a baseball season. Teams look like the best team on the planet for like 2 weeks, and they look terrible for 2 weeks. I'm still positive. I think. I mean, they're 17-20, and they've had like the 3rd hardest schedule in baseball, and they've honestly looked so bad. Like they should be 10 games below 500. It's crazy they're only 3. They need to go on a little run here to get back. I know the division's probably out of it. It's crazy to say that because we're only in the middle of May, but the division's probably gone. but they still have, at the end of the day, like the wild card. They can still rattle off some wins here, and it's still fairly early into the season, so you can't really judge. Teams have turned it around like crazy before, and the Jays were 500 at the All-Star break 2 years ago, and then ended up winning 90 games. So like, it's just, baseball is such a weird sport that teams that look good are terrible at the end of the year, and teams that look really bad at the start of the year end up being good. It's a very weird sport to watch because there's so many games.
That's true. Yeah, like right now, odds to make the playoffs plus 200. It was like plus 120 when we started covering baseball right before the season started. So it's moved a bit, but not crazy amount.
Minus 250 not to make it.
But to his point, it's still pretty early, right? If they were at All-Star break at 500, it'd probably be even worse odds. But I mean, yeah, could go on a run here. It would be nice for this city to see a team. Well, we got, Toronto, PWHL, and TFC. It would be nice to see the Jays, live up to the hype a little bit. But Johnny's faithful, so I'm gonna hope that the Jays turn it around too. Weather's getting warmer, dome gets open, so hopefully the Jays figure it out. They had a nice win yesterday. Watching it here, so go Blue Jays.
Yeah, bottom of the AL East, man. Last time, I think they were 4th, and now they're right at the bottom there.
Yeah, no, it's
tough.
Listen, it's still early though, but yeah, it's not looking great right now. The fact they're in last, but yeah, they've still got tons of games left. Probably like 130 games left, 120. So things could look better at a certain point. Hopefully, we'll see. All we can do is pray.
Do you think they're gonna keep Schneider?
They kind of have to, because this is like their 3rd coach in 4 years, I think. Like, you can't keep just firing guys, or 2nd coach in 3 years. So you can't just keep firing guys. Sooner or later, they're just gonna fire the manager or the general manager because he can't pick the right fucking manager. So, yeah, it's not a good spot to be in.
So you think Ross Atkins has a higher probability of getting let go than Schneider?
Probably, yeah.
Okay,
start from the top.
Yeah, I guess, top down. That's what the Leafs did. Fire the GM last year, fire the coach this year. So
going well for them so far.
Never the player's fault. Never the player's fault. Always management.
Absolutely crazy.
Always management.
This past week, guys, Tom Brady got roasted on Netflix.
Amazing.
Did you guys? Okay, so you obviously watched it. Did you watch it, Johnny? Because I feel like you wouldn't have watched it.
No, I watched it. It was sick.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, it was unreal. It was unreal. Yeah. So good.
I thought it was pretty crazy to see Belichick unfiltered. Like, he's been the most serious guy in the NFL.
Sure. He doesn't have a job. What does he care?
That's fair. That was what most of the jokes were of how he's unemployed. And I mean, he was letting it fly. That was an awesome night.
Who was the best and who was the worst? Because
good question.
First of all, also, can I just say that like it was too long? Like, I was sitting there and I was like, wait, are all of these people going? And then I realized it's 3 hours. Mind you, there hasn't been a roast out, I think, for like 8 years, they were saying. And I can't even remember the last roast I watched, but I've watched them all. And 3 hours is like a little bit too long, especially because so many of the same jokes were being used. Obviously, you're talking about the same person, so there's going to be like targets, but we could have, cut that in half, I think.
Yeah, there's definitely a few people on there you probably could have chopped.
Yeah, who is best and worst? Go, Hoods, you first.
I'm going to say the best was probably, I thought Julian Edelman was hilarious. I mean, he had the Belichick impression when he was making fun of him. He had some pretty funny jokes, pretty like, I won't say offside, but pretty, like we're going there kind of jokes. So I thought he was pretty funny. Least favorite was probably Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura. They're doing like a PowerPoint presentation. That wasn't it for me.
So funny. And I've watched them for several years now, but I thought the fact that they did it together and the way they did it was such a loss because Tom could have gone up there and just ripped him apart. And I thought that was like just a waste because they're both really talented guys. Johnny, what do you think?
The worst was Ben Affleck.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Was he okay? Because I don't think
something was off. Yeah.
No, man. That was like, you could look at the other athletes and comedians and everyone was kind of doing the side eye like, what was going on?
Did he wing it maybe? Like, he's like, oh shit, I got to do this. And he was just, I don't know.
He kind of took that, it seemed, to like fight against his internet trolls, not Brady's. I couldn't agree with you more, Johnny. Who'd you love?
Who was that guy, the white guy, what's his name, with like that
Schultz?
No, Schultz is really good.
You're talking about Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yes.
Tony was unbelievable. He is so funny. And I think like just the way he was hitting. Guys, I'm sorry. The best though was by far Nikki Glacier.
Yeah, she was really
Nikki
good.
came with the bazookas and her timing and everything. Like I was just like, also like I get the athletes coming up, but honestly, like some of them were they were so bad. Like that I was like, I don't really want to see this. Gronkowski looked like he had ripped 7 Billies before he got up there. Like I like Kevin Hart made the joke. Oh, shout out to Kevin Hart. That was amazing. He literally referenced it. He was like, this guy is not just drunk. Like he was crazy.
He couldn't read the screen.
So,
they were saying the prompter was there. He just couldn't even read it.
So apparently, Andrew Schultz, because I listen to his podcast every week, I just listened to it yesterday, and he was saying, because he was talking about it, you know, when he spikes the shot glass.
Yeah. He spiked
there's a part that we didn't see. The shot glass breaks, goes into a woman sitting in the front.
Oh shit.
There's just a chunk of glass hanging from her chin. And it was like like it looked like apparently like she had like makeup on, like it was super red and stuff. And I was just like, somebody's got to chain Gronk up. It's crazy.
Do you remember a few years ago, New Year's Eve, there was like that Lego bust of Steve Harvey that Gronk spiked? It was like the New Year's Eve like
the ball drop,
the telecast, the ball drop, and there was this Lego sculpture of Steve Harvey's face, and it was like Steve Harvey, Gronk, and someone else, and Gronk just took it and spiked it, and Steve Harvey was like, this wasn't like script. You could tell he was so angry. He was so pissed at Gronk because Gronk, I guess, didn't tell him he was gonna do it.
He's
so
crazy.
Yeah, he's just a lunatic.
He's too much, man. Like it's so funny.
Even some of his jokes, I was just like, bro, that's like, we're not like 12 years old. It was like,
also, you know how he kept saying, he's like, I just made that up right now. Like I'm so funny. Yeah. Apparently, that's what it said on the prompter.
Oh god,
like
that's
none
brutal.
of it.
That's insane.
None of it was like Schultz was like revealing all of this on his podcast, and I was just listening to it. The only one that he made up was the one where he said, "Kevin, come suck my dick."
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe he made that one up. That doesn't
wild.
That doesn't surprise me.
I will say Brady had one where I rolled onto the floor because I was like, this is great. One of Brady's jokes, because Kim Kardashian was there, was like, Kim, I know you're scared to be here, not because of the roast, because you have to leave your kids at home
with dad. Yeah. Who would have thought we'd get a Kanye West reference at the Tom Brady roast? That was clever.
Who would have thought Kim Kardashian would have been in a Tom Brady roast?
I feel like they only put her there to be a subject of ridicule.
Yeah,
like she was just there so that people could make fun of her.
She also came up and did some stuff too. Like, yeah, it was crazy. So at Sports Interaction, we have which athlete will be roasted next, and the favorite is Aaron Rodgers at plus 250.
Yeah.
Got A-Rod, got LeBron, Travis Kelce, Draymond, Tiger Woods, and MJ. In my opinion, from this list, I think LeBron James would be phenomenal because he is one of the GOATs, obviously. And there are so many things that you can pick him apart for. Not necessarily like bad things, but just like, you know what I like, his hairline, that right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like, I feel like there's so many things. Like Aaron Rodgers, to me, I'm like, he kind of knows he's a weirdo. And Aaron Rodgers leans into that. But I'm like, I don't think it would be as funny, especially also we just did the best football player of all time. Like, let's maybe switch the sport. But okay, I'll start with you, Johnny. But do you have a favorite from this list, or maybe someone else?
I think Aaron Rodgers, because he's able to take the chirps.
Yeah.
LeBron James probably too, because there's tons of stuff to the chirp LeBron about,
like I'm saying,
like him pretending that he's able, like that he's reading books when he just has or him like lying about like watching movies or reading all these books. So I think LeBron probably makes the most sense based off of the fact that I'm sure could take self-deprecation pretty well. Aaron Rodgers, like you say, he's just a weirdo. So I don't know. I don't think people would like that much.
Well, I also I'm looking at Draymond here, and I'm like, there's no way Draymond would ever do it. Draymond,
would just get
his fuse blasted. Is so short.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. Like what on
Draymond
Johnny
would pull a Will Smith and probably slap whoever's talking.
Like of who can take it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would be Draymond. What do you think, Hoots?
I'd like to see Tiger Woods. I think there's so much. There is so much ammunition
I don't
there.
Think he would do it though. I don't think
he would do it, but that would be absolutely hilarious with everything that's happened to him, and his life has just been under a microscope since he was a child. So there's so many different ways you can take this, and he probably has so many celebrity friends that would be chomping at the bit to be on this roast. I don't think he would ever do it, but I would love to see a Tiger Woods roast.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but I agree. There's no way he'd do it, especially because he's just kind of come back to golf, and everyone like has, not forgotten maybe, but a little bit forgotten all of his DUIs, his ex-wife, and all of this. Like I feel like he's just kind of turned that corner again and just back in the golf world. That I'm like, there's no way he's gonna want to dig that up. Like, there's no way. But I don't know. Is there anyone else, like other athletes that you guys can think of just off the top of your head, maybe that might be a good shout? David Beckham would be unbelievable.
That'd be a good one.
I feel like he would do it too.
Shaq would be a good one.
Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley.
Well, Shaq, he was part of one roast I remember back in the day, and like they kept picking on him the same way they kept picking on Gronk in this one. So I think Shaq would be pretty funny.
Guys, the Gronk hate. Do you not see all of the jokes going over his head? Like there's not a single, God bless him, but honestly, there's nothing going on upstairs. Like when the camera cut to him, I was like, he doesn't even realize what this joke is. And he's just like, la 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 la.
Me know that's not real money. That one have you on the floor.
No,
he's
just good.
He leans into it though. He's a good sport.
Really fucking dumb, but
yeah,
he's a good sport.
But he's again, like that's a good guy that could probably get roasted too. But I think, I think there would be recycled jokes probably. So I don't know if it's really be that funny. Yeah.
You know what they say though? Ignorance is bliss, friends.
Oh no, that's what I mean. He's like running around in like a garden full of flowers and not even noticing. Like he's living better than all of us, truly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love the roast to come back for sure. And they made it such an event too. And they brought so many like big stars. Like that was fun. I'm here for it.
Did you guys know it was happening before it started? Like I had no idea.
I didn't know it was happening until after it happened.
I saw it on Twitter. I was like, oh, let me watch this. And then, it started. But Johnny, you heard about it from where?
Apparently that has been planned for 2 years.
Oh shit!
The advertising was terrible though.
For 2 years, I don't even think they really needed advertisement, to be honest, because like right when you open up your Netflix page, it was front and center, like all.
I didn't open up Netflix though on Sunday, so I came into work on Monday, and Justin was like, "Did you watch the Tom Brady roast?" I wasn't on Twitter on Sunday night, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I only watched it on Tuesday.
I had I guess what you would say, viral tweet. I posted the joke of Kevin Hart saying that Giselle was AB's +1. How Tom Brady was pissed. 2 million impressions.
There you go.
So that was a nice little one. That was a nice
Prince Huda's claim to fame.
Nice start for the Twitter here. I gotta get this monetized now, but that was funny.
Jesus.
Great roast. I think it was up there with some of the best ones.
Who the hell has been roasted? Sorry, I completely.
There was a Donald Trump one a while back. Justin Bieber. Do you remember that one?
Justin Bieber's, I remember. Yeah. Comedy roasts. Who the hell is
there's I don't think I've seen a sports one like that in a while.
I'm trying to just remember who the heck has been roasted.
Let's see. We got Dennis Leary, Jeff Foxworthy, Pamela Anderson, William Shatner, Flava Flav, Bob Saget, Larry the Cable Guy, Joan Rivers, David Hasselhoff, Donald Trump, Charlie Sheen, Roseanne Barr, James Franco, Justin Bieber.
Oh, I remember the James Franco one.
Yeah, I remember James Franco.
Bruce Willis, Alec Baldwin.
Okay, I don't remember.
Alec Baldwin, damn.
I want to do more of these athletes. Yeah, some of these I'm like, oh, if they were to be roasted today.
Yeah. No, that would be pretty funny.
Dude, the Aaron Hernandez jokes had me on the fucking floor. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. They were so good.
That's why I was like, oh, we're going there. I'm like, nothing's off limits here.
There shouldn't be anything off limits. You're at a roast. Like, otherwise, I don't know. Like, come on. No, it was really well done. It was good. It was good. I hope to see more.
Good job, Netflix.
Good job, Netflix. All right, let's end the show how we have been ending the show of late. Prince Huda, how much money are people making? Bring it on.
Johnny, you're gonna like this one. It was a same game parlay on the Yankees and Astros yesterday. One better at Sports Interaction turned $50 into $10,000. You ready for this?
Oh my!
Giancarlo Stanton, 1 home run. Aaron Judge, 1 home run. Anthony Rizzo, 1 hit. Carlos Rodon, 5+ strikeouts. Juan Soto, 1 hit. Kyle Tucker, 1 home run. And the icing on the cake, Yankees money line.
You gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. Like that, honestly, the other one seemed easier. Like that is so hard. Like that is 4 home runs or 3 home runs, and then 2 guys getting a hit, pitcher strikeouts. That's insane.
201 to 1 odds.
That is
Unbelievable.
That's one of those you're like, you hit one of those and then you just retire forever from sports.
Or you're
betting.
just never down money ever, like gambling. Like that's you turn $50 into 10,000. Like you're never down money if you're just doing $50 bets like that. It's crazy.
What would you guys do if you won 10K right now?
Ooh.
I have no idea, to be honest. I'd probably
Johnny be at Paris, Texas, buying bottles in a booth
every day. Every day.
Like the couch I've been looking to buy, I'm getting a much better couch than the one I was looking at. That's for sure. I mean, $10,000.
So responsible. I gotta get a couch.
Well, I'm for those listeners and viewers, I'm moving in the process, so looking at furniture.
Get your fans.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, we'll get there at some point, housewarming. But yeah, I would definitely be looking at furniture right now. But $50 to 10,000, it could happen to you. Download Sports Interaction today. Lock in your best parlay, and maybe you could get featured on this show. Who knows?
Love
Shawnee,
to hear
do you want
that.
to say something there?
No, I was just say put it back in another parlay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Yeah. Take that money.
High to low, high to low.
Take that money, put it on Berube, the Leafs' next head coach. You're sailing.
I just can't believe, like, that is insane.
I want you to do that one day, Johnny. I want to hear that it was you.
$50 to 10,000 is ridiculous, dude.
Unbelievable.
Like that. Tip your cap.
Imagine watching that game too. Like you're just sitting there. Oh, there's a leg. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one.
You'd probably just be like very like nonchalant. You'd be like, oh, that hit. Yeah, well, not everything else is. Oh, okay, interesting. By the time it's like the last one, you're probably like screaming, running around.
The Yankees won like, I mean, the Yankees winning part was never really a doubt. Like they won,
yeah,
like 8-2 or whatever it was. So like that leg was already done. The Stanton home run was fairly early as well. I mean, that's a sick part. That's insane. That's sicko shit.
All right, Johnny, we need to see you do it.
Yeah, that inspires me to try and hit one of these.
That'll never
happen.
Anyone?
Oh man,
it'll never happen for me at least.
This is the craziest one I've ever seen from the ones that have been shared. So yeah. I think, yeah, and it was yesterday too. Like this guy, I mean, I'm sure he called in sick. Him or her called in sick to work today and just blew some of that 10 grand. But
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Unbelievable stuff.
Unbelievable stuff, guys. Well, like Huda said, it could be you. But let's end it there. Always on the positive notes. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, with maybe an even crazier parlay.
Yeah. Lock in your parlay today. Beat that.
Beat that. Enjoy your weekends, everyone, and we will see you next week.
Talking shit.